All right, guys, for my next little mini mod, I'm going to be swapping out the stock air filter, which can be found right here underneath the makeshift carb-looking throttle body and behind the side cover, right underneath there, with a brand new high-performance K&N high-flow air filter that's, of course, washable and reusable, that can be used for the lifetime of the bike. So first things first, to get at the stock filter, you got to remove this hose with a clamp, as you can see right there. And then once that hose is out of the way, there are just four star head screws, one on each side, or excuse me, two on each side, that need to be taken off, and that little door opens and the filter can be pulled out. So I'm going to go ahead and get started removing those parts to get at the old filter. All right, so to get off clamps like that, just a nice pair of channel lock pliers will do the trick. So let's get this up underneath here. And you don't have to remove the whole clamp. You just gotta slide it down. And sometimes you just gotta wiggle these things. And they're a huge pain in the ass when they're in tight spots like this. Here we go. Okay. So that is down. And then now pull the hose out of the way. One thing that I also did, guys, is I took the side cover off that would be here because it's, a beautiful piece of body work, and also it helps to give access to these two star bolts that are here. So take the side cover off before you even get started. Next is I got my star bit in a socket, and so I can just start to remove that. So let's go around and take these off. Okay, so with the screws removed, you should be able to wiggle this door right off. And then you got the air filter, and sometimes it might be kind of hard to get that, so you could just pop a little screwdriver, get a little leverage, and you can pull that guy right out. And so here's the air filter, and it's got this tray around it, which we'll be reusing with the new filter. And that's how you take your filter out. Now, before you put the new filter in, it's good to clean the inside here. You can see a lot of dust just came out as I was pulling out the filter. So it's good to clean out the inside as much as possible. So I'm going to go ahead and give that a quick rub down before we put the new filter in. All right, just to give you guys a quick side-by-side, here's the stock filter that I pulled out, and you can see it's like that yellow paper kind. These are pretty good. They're gonna obviously keep the air clean. It's something that the manufacturer recommends, but I'm all about that high flow, so we're ditching that guy and we're gonna use the new K&N. Now, I don't know if you guys have ever used K&N filters before, but what's cool about them is that they are washable and reusable, so you can just take them out, clean them up with filter cleaner, re-oil them, and you're good to go. Now, these do come out of the box oiled and ready to rock. Now, one thing that's interesting about this one is it actually came with this filter grease that I actually have to take and apply around the outside here in a bead around this lip, I guess in order for it to seat well and seal well inside of the motor. So once I do that, then I'll install it back into the tray, which, let me get this dust off of there, goes like so. Pop right in place like that, and then it slides back in the motor this way, and then that door goes back on like that. So I'm gonna put that grease on and then get this thing all put back together. All right, I've got my bead of grease all around the outside of it, ready to go. And obviously there's a lot of grease that comes in this tube, so you just hang on to it for the next time you pull the filter out when you clean it, so you can re-grease it and put it back in place. Okay, filter is seated in place. Now you kind of just slide this guy past everything and get her lined up. It's a little tough with that grease on there, not gonna lie. Try not to get it all over your hands. Okay, there she goes. Boom, new filter in place. Now, we just grab our little door. This guy goes right back here. Put our screws back in, reattach the hose, and we're all set. All right, she's all buttoned up, put back together. Gonna fire her up in a little bit here just to get her running, getting used to the new air filter. Now, I did go on some forums, ask about the new K&N filter to see if it would make much of a difference. You know, with cars and other vehicles, they say like, oh, you can get some added horsepower with some added flow, get a better fuel mixture, yada, yada, yada. From what I read on the Triumph Rat forum, the K&N filter doesn't do a whole lot. Like, they've already got this engine pretty well optimized. But for me, it's like, if I can get just a little bit extra and have a little bit more airflow, it's going to give me that peace of mind to make me, you know, feel like I get just a little bit extra out of the motor. I already did the Motone cat delete and now that, so I've got some really good flow going, and then soon I'm going to be replacing those silencers with some shorties just to kind of finish the whole airflow thing. But I do like having a filter in there that I can take out and clean and put back and not have to worry about replacing. Now, every single one of my vehicles and all of my motorcycles have all had K&N filters. So it's a pretty easy job. You just got to remove those side covers, take off that hose, take out those 4 screws, pull it out, put it back together. So that's how you put in a filter on the Triumph Thruxton or the Triumph 1200 motor.